a biking grade. So this is day 14th. Today is June 3rd. Been on trail for 2 weeks and feeling good, feeling strong, able to move pretty quickly now. I got a funny story about that because yesterday, so coming out of Newfound Gap, Ice Spring Shelter is up there and I see a sign. It says Ice Spring Shelter point 2. So, you know, usually you see these signs, that means they're off trail point 2 or point 4. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to go to the shelter. I'll just keep going. So I keep going, and you know, after I'm like really moving quick because I'm energized from the trail magic at Newfound Gap. I'm wanting to make some miles, make some time, stay warm in the rain. So I'm like really cruising, and a lot of it's downhill. So like, yeah, this is great. And then finally stop just to pull out my phone, do a little check, and I am way off trail, like miles off trail. So what happened is I took the Mount LeConte trail and I almost made it to Mount LeConte. So I did like 3 or 4 miles off trail, and you know, it just happened that that junction was point 2 from Ice Spring. So, you know, Ice Spring Shelter is like right on trail. So it was just saying, you know, Ice Spring Shelter is point 2 in that direction. But since it was raining, I didn't want to pull out my phone and check and, you know, take time because it was cold. So I ended up doing like an extra 6 or 8 miles. Not really sure, but I arrived at the shelter like several hours after everybody else. But still felt, you know, all right. Our normal day yesterday without that was 20 miles, 6,000 feet of gain and loss. For me, I estimate it's probably closer to 26, 27 miles with about 7,500 feet of gain. So pretty good day, and I feel great today. And today will be mostly downhill. We'll be getting out of the Smokies. Must have missed it, but there's a plane crash here in the 80s, I think 1984. It's a F-4 Phantom jet, and both pilots were killed. And apparently you can find like the fuselage and bits of the engine and all that on the mountain here somewhere. But I was not observant enough walking by to notice any.
Travis Moore. I'm from Cumming, Georgia, and we're doing a section hike through the Great Smoky Mountains. I'm with my dad. We started at Davenport Gap, and we're gonna end up at Fontana Dam.
Oh, sweet. Here's a bunch more Reishi. Take one of the younger ones. I'm gonna need both hands to do this, but I'm gonna cut it with my scissors. So I've been brewing the Reishi into a tea, like I had some this morning, and I do think I notice that it helps my energy levels, and that's the literature. Supposedly boosts your immune system, and the main thing is supposed to be an adaptogen, which that helps you adapt to stress. And I'm not really, I don't understand how, you know, what are the mechanisms of action, but that's what the internet says, so a lot of people take it for. And yeah, it's pretty cool that you can just, you know, you won't get more fresh Reishi than this, and it is free 99. So an update on the sleeping pad. I've actually been sleeping really well, and been in the shelter the last 2 nights because that's what you're supposed to do in the Smokies. And also it's just nice to be in a shelter when it's raining, and I've slept fine. So, you know, I think pretty much if you're doing big days out here, you will be so tired that it doesn't matter. And also it's kind of cool, I think my body and like my mind, it's kind of going to a whole another level of being okay with discomfort, because I've had this poison ivy on my leg too for the last week, and like traditionally like a really hard pad and then poison ivy are two things that used to bother me, but I haven't even, it's not like I've been like working to try to not be bothered by the pad or the ivy. It's just like, you know, this is the situation and I am just out here able to accept it. And that is, yeah, feels like another level of growth for me, where these things that previously would have bothered me a lot, now, like, you know, not a big deal, just part of the experience. I know it will pass, and it's not even on my consciousness as the thing that I need to work on. It's just already, you know, not an issue. Found some more chicken in the woods. Bet your ass I'm picking this. Just gotta make sure there's not poison ivy around it. Yep, there are just no good views on the AT. Just a green tunnel, that's all you see.
Never remember hearing you get one.
Yeah, so my trail name is Sauerkraut, and I got that name because sauerkraut. I used to bring mason jars of sauerkraut on my hikes. Ooh. It was a terrible idea. Don't do that.
No, that's so good.
But yeah, we're out here hiking. I'm going to, I'm just doing like a little loop.
Okay.
So I'm just on the AT for like the next bit here, and then I'm gonna get off. And yeah, you guys are doing the full thing. Good luck.
Thank you.
Nice. Cool, yeah. Add some of this chicken of the woods into ramen. Make a really good lunch. It's so good. I'm gonna pick these all up and down the trail. It's just so good. I am at the top of Snowbird Peak. Pretty great view. Standing in, this would be a pretty nice campsite, but gonna continue on a little bit further. It was a pretty rough climb up. This was 2,500 feet. So we descended like 4,000 feet out of the Smokies, and then it was just 2,500 feet over 4 miles. But that's all the climbing for the day, and it should be about a 26 mile day today. I told him he's thinking about PJs. I told him, like, you should go and do that.
Yeah. Who did?
What is it?
Up here resting in the
Oh,
airport.
PJs?
Yeah,
I know a shit ton of PJs, dude. One of my best friends is an entire PJ. Great time meeting you, hell of a time, and stay safe out there, brother, and careful with your mushrooms, dude.
Happy trails.
Peace out, man. Be good. Happy trails. Stay safe.
Likewise. Happy trails.
This is day 15. It rained last night. Tent held up really well. Basically, there was just some condensation on the inside, but no water that got in. And saw a bunch of really beautiful fireflies last night. And this morning, it is so gorgeous. I think the woods here, like right after rain, it's the most beautiful because there's moisture in the air and the sunlight just paints it like a painting, and have these like gorgeous rays of sunlight piercing through the tree canopy, and it feels really magical. And I was looking at my old diary to see how this hike compared to calendar year. I thought we were pretty close, but not at all. On day 11 in 22 is when I made it to Hot Springs. So the trail is actually straddling the Tennessee-North Carolina border for quite a bit. So to my left is Tennessee, to my right is North Carolina, and I am walking the border. So this is Max Patch Bald. Behind me, you can see those are the Smokies, those big mountains that we came down off of. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. A lot of people like to camp here, but it's been closed the last couple of years for restoration. Otherwise, it would have been a nice place to camp. Nice spot to dry out some stuff. This is so cool, isn't it? No trees. Where are the trees at? I'll talk about some gear real quick since I have it all spread out. So the pack has been holding up really well. I thought there were some holes, but it's just holes that they built into the pack for like a little bladder. And using the whatever sleeping pad as a frame has actually worked out really well. And I've been sleeping very comfortably on the pad, even in the shelters. So first couple of days, I was getting some pain in my shoulders with these straps, but now it's all good. Just had to take some getting used to. The belt is actually pretty small or pretty big, so if I lose too much more weight, it's not gonna be able to close up, but that's my only complaint. It's actually kept it pretty waterproof. My food bag, I realize why everybody builds the food bags long ways now, because actually it's pretty hard to close up all the way with a fat like this, and it's kind of hard to put it in my pack, so wish I would have built my food bag differently, but otherwise the spoon bag is working really well. So the tent has held up really well. I've been very comfortable in it. Rainstorm last night and nothing got wet. It was just condensation inside, so yeah, I'd say yeah, tent is working really well. My sleeping bag keeping me plenty warm. A couple cold nights in the Smokies, probably like in the low 40s, and this was able to keep me warm enough. Yeah, no complaints on the sleeping bag either. The little BRS stove has been working perfectly along with this pot. You know, I really like this pot. It's one of the best buys, I think. You know, plenty of space, does everything I need it to, and super lightweight. My hoodie's been working out pretty well. Very warm, very lightweight. Doesn't retain a lot of water when it gets wet, and only complaint is I made it too small, so it's hard to take off. These fine track layers have been working out really well, so like pretty much, you know, if this layer gets wet, I take it off and this layer is dry. So you see I'm in camp on these really hot days where I take this layer off to just let it dry off, and then I'm totally dry. So I've been really enjoying these shirts. I guess I gotta keep hiking. It's a town day today. What's going on?
I've been having some knee pain, so we'll see how that goes. But just trying to rest up a little bit and take it easy. So, yeah.
What do you think of Max Patch?
It's beautiful up here. Yeah, got views everywhere, so it's great.
Yay, made it to hot springs. I'm pretty tired. I've had a lot of long days, like 5 days with 6,000 feet of gain. Last 2 days we did 25, 26 miles. And it's funny, hot springs right here. It's just the trail spits you out right in the parking lot of the hostel. This is Laughing Heart Hostel, right back here. So I'm gonna try and camp here, I think. I don't wanna stealth camp and do all that stuff.
So if you want to just grab a bucket and empty some ashes out of the fire pit for us and throw it in the tree line for me, that'd be amazing. And if you have any more time after that, we can just do a little bit of weeding around the property.
Cool.
And he just starts following me like very slowly in his car, just like for like half a mile. So I just go into a bank and just like chill out. It's pretty scary. That's the scariest moment.
I've only had one hitch where like I had to get out of the car, like just one, and like it wasn't really like anything super particular. It was just like sketchy dude drinking far too much, like really like.
Not quite as good as the last meal, but this will still be a lot of calories, a lot of good calories. Pyro is sleeping under a bridge right now.
How is it 60? So good. So good. Much needed. And we got ice cream.